streams at random points. I think we might be good now. We're probably live. What's up on the replay? If it starts right here, if it doesn't, then excuse me. Hey man. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about building momentum as a music artist and like really what is killing your momentum as a music artist in 2026. All right, so I know a lot of the times when we are in the process of building and mapping out our game plan, our strategies, trying to make music and figure out how to get people to actually listen to it and all that stuff. Sometimes in the process of that, we can lose momentum because, and I'm gonna give it to you. I don't really have a like a very like wavy way to teach. I just we're just gonna give it to you. Um, Sometimes we're waiting too long to put a thing out. Sometimes our perfectionism and our desire to tweak and have everything perfect is actually killing our momentum. Like you won't do anything in terms of putting the song out. You don't want anyone to hear it because you don't want anyone to hear it in its raw form or in whatever you feel like it's not up to whatever part or standard. But let me tell you why that doesn't work. In today's climate, one of the ways that you are going to build momentum, and when we talk about building momentum, we're really talking about building momentum around like a release or building momentum around your music in general, like your musical projects. One of the fastest ways to actually build momentum, one of the easiest ways to build momentum, it's almost semi-effortless if you being honest, is to actually invite your listeners, invite people into your process, right? If you'll invite people into your process, then you're building rapport with your quote unquote fan base, right? You're building rapport with those that may be thinking about investing in to your musical artistry on a consistent basis, maybe actually purchasing the project, actually streaming it, actually whatever the case may be, right? Um, Hitting subscribe, hitting follow, hitting like and hitting share. You know what I mean? Eh, all of this, because what we're not in at this point is simply um, trying to get people to mm, buy from us and just listen to us to listen to us. Your key thing is going to be building community around your music, right? You got to build community around your music. I'm probably giving you too much considering we got a summit coming up, but uh, whatever. We'll talk through some more stuff during the summit. We're hosting that on this Thursday, this coming Thursday, July 2nd. You can register for free um, at the link below, actually in the description. And yeah, that we're basically running through. It's called the Christian Musical Impact Summit, and so we're running through how to identify the people that God has uniquely called your music to reach. Really transforming musical ideas into messages that actually impact people. Um, we're running through how to build a following that actually grows, like a following that you're actually building. And I'll lean into a little bit more of that languaging because building a following and building a following, it's nuanced and it's got a double meaning to it, and we'll dive into that as well. And then we speak to how to turn your influence as it grows into actual consistent income, and then just the framework for moving from ideas to impact to investment. So if you're interested in that, that is in a couple of days. Like I said, I think today's Tuesday, so Thursday, July 2nd, we will be um, in the Christian Musical Impact Summit. And so you're not going to want to miss that if you have been struggling to find your fit. You're really wondering like, there's so much music out. Why does mine matter? Or who's really going to listen to mine? How are they going to listen to mine? With all this like bombarding, like new releases are like daily. Um, People are going viral daily for their stuff, and it's like, where do I fit in this? And so if you've been asking that question, then again, you can register for free at the link that is in the description for the Christian Musical Impact Summit. And we're gonna turn your ideas into impact, impact into investment, and we're gonna really help you identify your people and how to reach them. All right, but yeah, I really believe it's important though that you don't kill off your own momentum because you're waiting around trying to make stuff perfect. Basically, that was the whole gist of this video. That's the reason why that you're spending so much time tweaking. You're spending so much time trying to make everything sound like the record that you heard from this artist or that artist, and you're like, well, it's not industry standard. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Industry standard, I ain't gonna say it's a lie, but I am gonna say people want to hear in real time raw recordings sometimes more than they want to hear actual fully produced tracks. There is a whole like market out there for like stuff that isn't so polished in its production value. I'm not saying it's piss poor. I'm not saying it's trash. I am saying though there's a rawness that feels authentic to certain people that you could give. And then there is a place for the polished sound. There's people that really like that polished sound. There's people that meet in the middle. No matter what the flavor is, there is a people that like what it is. Right. And so what you're failing at doing is moving into where you are now, making that available to people. You've got to take them on the journey. You feel me? You got to take them on the journey. And once they're in the journey with you, you're actually going to find that they're more willing to invest. Like you grab their attention and they'll start investing their attention on seeing where the journey goes, seeing how the song grows, how the song forms, how it shapes. You could literally, ooh, I'm really giving out too much. Whatever, I don't care. You could really start at the base level of letting people into your original idea, right? And take people on the journey from the idea to the actual like full production of the song, right? There's a worship artist, they should call him, well, yeah, worship artist, Todd Delaney, that a few years back, I think, and I might be butchering the way that this went, but a few years back, he was, I don't know if they were outside of a concert or like in the backstage or something, but him and I don't know if it was a music director or if it was just one of his instrumentalists, but they started singing something. Uh, uh, the song is based in, I think it's Proverbs 3. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Write them on the tablet of, let not mercy and truth forsake you, let not mercy. Like, and they were just doing that, and people were like, "Hey, dog, when you coming out with this?" And I think that was the inception of the idea. Like that was like the genesis of the idea for the song, and people followed the process of that entire song, and it led into a whole recording, obviously. But I really think people watched the recording itself for that one song. Like he actually live streamed the recording. I remember watching it. Um this was back in 2019. It had to be. I think we had just moved to Greensboro. We just got married, moved to Greensboro. But like, not none of that is not here nor there. But it's like when you take the people on the journey. You take those who are listening, those who you are specifically called to reach, and you take them on the journey. It leads to building a solid foundation for a solid foundation for a fan base, if you want to call it that. I don't necessarily call it fan base. I call it listening community, but you know, your language is your language. But like when you grab your listening community and you pull them into what this is, man, shoot, you fine. Like you're gonna be more you're gonna be more surprised with how many people actually care about what's going on. Do I want to say this? Yeah, everybody listening ain't everybody liking, sharing, or commenting. And I know that frustrates you, but it's the truth. People will see you in person and just smack down. I see what you're doing, man. I love it. I love it. I'm waiting on the song to come out. I see what you're doing. You're on Instagram. You're on YouTube. I know you're there. You haven't liked it once. You're on my Facebook. You're on my whatever else. You didn't like the post. You didn't comment. You waited till you saw me. And sometimes this is what happens. Sometimes it's what happens. Sometimes people just don't engage the social media or the online platform, and they would rather just tell you in person when they see you, or maybe just make the purchase when it becomes available. And I even want to speak to. I'm not gonna be on it. Nope. We'll wait till the summit. It's a free summit. You might as well come to the summit. I had to say something, but there's some plays that you can run. Cause here it is. Musical artistry isn't a one-way street. There isn't. I know I named this the number one rule, but there isn't like a one size fits all model for how to run your musical journey. I know we like to think it is, but it's not. There's not a one size fits all. And how you engage and how you feel, here it is, led really. So here's what I want to teach you about ideas. I'm teaching this in the summit, but I'm giving you a sneak peek. Ideas are not just ideas, right? We think of ideas and the regular definition of ideas, but ideas are invitations, right? Ideas are, at the root of the word idea is the phrase to see, right? So ideas have a connotation of sight or insight or foresight, right? So I believe that God gives ideas as an invitation into new possibilities. He gives ideas as an invitation into understanding what his agenda, his will, his intentions are. I see ideas as God opening you up to the Bible says, with man, this is impossible. With God, all things are possible, right? The possibilities from God. And so, even when you have an idea, because I'm literally what I'm about to give y'all at this summit um, is hilarious. But I want to give y'all specific types of plays to run, and I just got enough one. And but if God tells you, well, if God tells you, it's Christian musical artist, we have that lean. If God tells you to do it a certain way, if you have an idea to do it a certain way, don't negate that idea because it doesn't fit the mold of what people have said that you have to do as an artist. If that's the way you feel like you're supposed to do it, do it. They're not paying your bills. The people that's trying to, I'm not saying negate wisdom, but I am saying sometimes wisdom is limited to a person's own direction and path. And sometimes your path is a little different, and what's wise for you may not be following what they knew. You know what I mean? And so you can't get caught up so much in what they say you should do. Their formulas, their strategies all the time. I'm not saying don't listen to nobody. Obviously, I, I'm about to help you out. I'm about to help you out. The summit is going to be amazing. This video is here to help you out. Bump the summit. The video that we're in now is here to help you. But again, you got to take the path that you know is being laid before you, right? You don't. Well, if you're a Christian musical artist, you got a different set of rules that you abide by. You don't just take the path you want to take. We gotta commit stuff to prayer, right? We gotta commit our plans to God. That's what we gotta do. We gotta commit our plans to Him. Gotta commit our ways to Him. We gotta acknowledge Him in all our ways, and He'll direct the path, right? There's another scripture that says, if you give your plans to God, I think they'll succeed or something. They'll prosper. Hold on, I'm searching it up. Commit your works to God, right? Commit your deeds to Him, and your plans will succeed, right? So we got a little different set of rules we walk by, but at the end of the day, what I'm saying is the same. You can't always go by that. Sometimes there's another way, and my sincerest prayer in um, is that in what I'm presenting through the Christian Musical Impact Summit, I'm helping you see a better way or another way, a way that works better for you, right? I know a lot of the times it's easy to get frustrated when you don't see numbers. It's easy to get frustrated when you don't feel like you're making impact. But just because you don't feel like you're making impact doesn't mean you're not. It's true. Just because you don't feel like you're making impact doesn't mean you're not making impact. The only way to really not make impact is to not do what you're supposed to do. And that is going to kill your momentum because you're focused on numbers. You're focused, and I know we need the numbers. We got to pay the bills. We want to do full time music and da da da. I got you. I got you. Trust me, I understand. But you don't focus on trying to get 50 million people to buy your music, to subscribe, to like your stuff, to today. That's not your goal. That shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should be to at least impact one person. All right. And sometimes your perfectionism is holding you up from that. I know this was like a little jumpy as far as the idea, but I promise if you're really like listening in, this is what this is. You cannot hold back the journey. You cannot hold back the rawness of what the music is and isn't. Sometimes the best part about having music to put out is the fact you need to put it out. The other thing I want to do, and this was the first summit I wanted to do, is the release summit. And I almost will change the name. No, it's not going to change that. The next summit I'm probably going to do is the release summit, the musical project release summit. I don't know, or I'll just weave it into this somehow. I have had God tell me flat out in the middle of me tweaking a track, stop. release it like it is. And I was like, I released a track 2 days ago. You can find that in the script. No, you can't. I don't think I put that in the description. I may have. I think it's in there. I think it's in there. I released a single um, for a song I did. I re-recorded in 2024. I originally recorded it in 2021. I started the composition of it in 2020, not knowing that I was starting the composition of it. God just kind of gave me something, and I kind of jumbled down the instrumental somewhere. But yeah, it's like I don't feel like, and this is just me, and I think maybe it's against the rules to tell people this, that I don't like the quality of the sound of the track, but I felt like God told me to release it. Now I've mixed it and stuff, and I've done different parts of it. I also recorded it, um, and it was 24. I was still learning. It was my first recording of that caliber, where I was really live recording a lead vocal. Um, I pre-recorded everything except the live vocals, and then I ran the track during the recording. I didn't have instrumentalists. I just had me, so I made the whole thing. Everything you hear on there is me, um, from drums to you can probably tell, and it's keyed drums. So I wish I would have been more mindful to bring the process, like people into the process then. Which there are some videos, but I didn't record as much as I probably could have back then. But yeah, it's just an interesting thing because it really does stand to um, speak to the fact that things don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be quote unquote industry standard. They don't have to be, if enough of us do a thing a particular way, that becomes the new standard. Standards are relative, they're not objective. Like they're not set in stone. Standards can change in a lot of cases. Now, I'm not saying the standard of God, praise God, but what we deem as cultural standards sometimes can change if the culture shifts. You know what I mean? And some of us, that's what we're here for. We're here to shift the culture and help other artists understand by our releases that hey, the world don't need your music to be perfect. They just need your music to be available, right? They don't need your music to be perfect. They just need it to be available. And if it's available, they can be impacted by it, and you won't lose momentum by sitting on music that should have been released 10 years ago. You get what I'm saying? Music that should have been released 6 months ago. And you think that's not a long time compared to 10 years, but it's still a long time because stuff changes so quickly. And you don't understand why God would give you a song to put out when He gives it to you to put out, right? So we're sitting on songs He tells us to put out, and we don't understand that the climate of the world is about to shift, and the song is going to be necessary to somebody, or the climate of somebody's life is about to shift, and it's going to be necessary to what they're going through in that particular time. But because you, here it is, last live, didn't show up, because you didn't release the music, because you were sitting there saying, "Well, I just can't. It's not the way I want it to be. It's not the way I feel like it's not excellence." Your definition of excellence and God's definition of excellence may be two different things, right? Your definition of excellence and the person that's listening to the music's definition of excellence may be two different things. Some of you are making music for musical critics, and that's not your actual audience. Yeah, that's not that's not that's not the people that your music is assigned to. That's not your impact zone. Obviously, if they're not impacted by it, they just critique it. They're not your impact zone, and you're trying to crowd please. Wow, We're crowd pleasers. We're not true musical impactors. We're trying to please crowds instead of impact people through our music. And you want people that do music, other musicians, to like your stuff. And here's the funny part: you confident enough, and you really can put together a good song. You really can perform. You can do it. You the whole night. You really can do it. You don't even realize they listen to it. Now it might not be the most, as far as tweaking, like the most tweaked, but they listen to it like, oh, hold on, the kid got it though. They might not ever say it to you. You're and some of the people that you're looking at ain't even got no power to get you nowhere. And the people that will hear it in other places of power, of other places of authority, they might hear it and be like, "Wait, we got to get them in here. We got to get them on the stage. We got to get them in the studio. I wanna work with them. I like their pen. I like their voice. I like their arranging style. I like their background vocal arrangement. I like this. I like that. I want to work with them. It's raw. It's real. It's not polished. I know we want to polish, but it's not polished, and I actually kind of like that. Or um, vice versa. It could be the fact that you did polish it up. Like, but the thing is, stop trying to make it what it's not in a moment, right? Bring people into the journey. Your momentum relies on this. Okay. Now you may not think this is important. If you don't think this is important, then I'm not the guy for you in this particular video. But if you can hear this and it does a little something in your heart, I want you to pay attention to that. And I want you to start navigating what it looks like to show up even when the thing is not perfect or what you would deem perfect, right? Show up when the thing isn't as up to par as you want it to be. But here's how you know that you might, ooh, well, get me together then in the middle of me trying to talk to people. You can't even get past this hump of the song. It's like you've hit a pocket. You knew the song. You knew the song was fire. Da, 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 da. And it's like you've done a little bit of it, but you can't get past a particular hump. I hear that. It's because you ain't invited nobody into the song. Invite people in. God wants people to be impacted by it now. Watch what happens. Post it on Instagram. I'm telling you. Post it on TikTok. Post it in your YouTube shorts. Post it on your channel in general. Do a long form video of you putting together parts of the track. Just see. Just see. If you run it and it don't work, then just unfollow me. Right? Unsubscribe. Just see. Just see. Just see. Just see. All right. All right. In any case, again, we got a summit coming up, Christian Musical Impact Summit, and that's for any musical artist that is um, trying to grow your audience, trying to, and not just grow your audience, but build your following, like build your followers and build the people that are following you. Um, and that's nuance. Um, Also, really, dialing into who actually is the people I'm supposed to be reaching. You know what I mean? And so, if you're interested in that, um, got that available for you. There are two options: a free option, a VIP option. You'll be able to, once you get into registering, the VIP option will, it should pop up, and you can opt in or choose not to. Either way, you're going to get a very high value experience. And so, in realm of teaching, you are going from being possibly confused about who it is you're called to reach and how it is you're going to reach them and how you're going to get people to show up and listen to your music and actually like latch on and how you're going to gain traction as an artist or whatever the case may be. You're going to leave with full confidence, knowing how to approach this next season of your musical artistry. So, this is fun. And so I'll talk to you guys soon. And until next time, I'll probably be back on later or tomorrow or something. Um, and until next time, please, my friends, stay inspired. Peace.